Howdy, howdy. We got crazy video today. So, I've been talking a lot about the AI movement. And yesterday, I saw another robot advancement, because I never heard of this company. Figure 3. I've heard of the Chinese one called something Tree. I think Link Tree is its name. And those robots are like 13K, but then I saw the video of this, and this robot actually showed that this is the future of robotics. Like, the other one's very small. This one is human size. I want to say above average of the human. So, like, I think it's like 5'10", I think is, if I remember correctly. So it's just, like, I think the average is like 5'9" for like humans. Maybe even lower. But yeah. So I saw that yesterday. And then today I woke up and I watched Asmon. I watch Asmon mainly for his gaming takes more than the political, because every time I watch anything of his political side, usually it's always what I think. Most of his takes are common sense, but a lot of people dislike his takes because they can't think the way he thinks. If that's the best way to sum it up, or they just don't agree with him. But yeah. So like this one, because I've had a rant about AI investment, and I don't know if you can read it, but it says AI wipe out the working class. And we're gonna watch this video, and I got a notepad full of notes that I jot down off the internet, because I don't. Bernie didn't really talk about percentages and everything, but we'll just let the video play, and I'll pause and talk about what I wrote down.
Bernie Sanders, AI could wipe out the working class. AI will wipe out the working class.
It will.
It's going to wipe out, I think, 80% of the working class.
Thanks very much for joining me. You know, in the midst of these unprecedented and crazy times, government shutdown, Trump's devastation of healthcare in America, climate change, the move toward authoritarianism, the horrific war in...
See, this is why I don't like Bernie. And even everyone in fucking his comment section, which I'm covering right now. I didn't want to cover Asmongold, so I'm covering the chat. There were dumb idiots being like, Bernie should run in 2028. I was like, Bernie is like 86 or 87 years old. This man's already in a casket. It's just waiting for that age to close the casket. He's already at death's door. Like, we do not need a 90-year-old president.
Gaza, the growth of oligarchy, etc., etc., etc.
Right now he's reading off a piece of paper or teleprompter. Yeah, he can mumble speech, but is his mental there? That's what I want to know.
Take a few minutes talking about another issue of enormous consequence that just doesn't get the kind of attention I think it deserves. Everybody agrees that artificial intelligence, AI, and robotics are going to have a transformative impact on our country and the world. There is very little disagreement about that.
Absolutely.
There are, however, very strong disagreements as to what those...
This is actually, I'm going to not push my political beliefs. You could already probably guess what I believe in. But this is probably the first time... This is somewhat political. I wouldn't say it's that political, but it's just like looking at a step forward of what humanity is going to be facing. It's not really political, but I'm going to try to stay away from the politics side of it, because I don't even want to put my hand in politics.
Impacts will be.
Anybody who is not aligned on that is fucking delusional. I think it's so obvious where AI is going. And the only people that don't think that are either people coping or the business owners of these AI companies saying that so they don't get...
All of them, literally, even Figure last night when I was reading, even talked about what their goal is. Like, their goal is to replace master plan. Here it is. This is what they want to do. They want to replace 50% of the global GDP of human labor. 2.3 billion households worldwide is their target goal, and 700 million in home care, which are people like the elderly or disabled. And the biggest one, space exploration. Like, yeah, this is like what we're dealing with now. This is the future. And I'll have a response to this alone. But yeah, like all AI or all AI manufacturers and robotic manufacturers, their main goal is to replace one market at the moment,
Regulated.
which is the working
That's it.
class.
Who will benefit from these
And
changes
I got a whole
and
list
who will
of jobs
be hurt?
in the U.S. at least.
So here is my take.
I think that if nothing is changed from the current system that we have right now, we will be entering into a new age of neo-feudalism. I think that we're already seeing the first vestiges or the first, little, indicators of that with food delivery services. Think about how many people's jobs it is to just simply perform a menial task for a person that has.
Yeah, literally almost every job, and I even have it in my notepad. A lot of jobs are service jobs. Service meaning like you give someone your service. A lot of jobs are like that.
More money and disposable income than they do. I think this is becoming more and more common. Food delivery.
It's mainly common in big cities. Like here, where I live, we don't have that. But I live out in the middle of nowhere. Like, I live in a very small town, and we don't have that at the moment. We don't have that. Maybe in the future, maybe we will, but at the moment, we don't.
Grocery delivery, all of this stuff is happening. And I think that what's going to continue to happen is that as AI allows a small percentage of the population to consolidate the wealth and resources around their means of production without needing the cooperation of the rest of the working class and even a majority of the upper middle class to, effectively cooperate with them, they can do it on their own at scale. This is going to create a massive disparity of resources that I think will rival Rome. I think it will be that bad. It will be just like the Middle Ages again.
Some of the very wealthiest
I see what he's trying to say, but I don't think it'll be that bad.
people in the world, including Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos,
Yeah,
and
Elon
others,
has his own robots too.
are now investing hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars.
There was I don't know if y'all saw this, but they said Elon in 5 years will be the first trillionaire, which is so crazy to think about. And if you think about, Elon could literally buy Earth. Like, he could give everybody on Earth money and still have, like, millions of dollars or even a billion. That's how rich he is. I don't know how much he could give everybody, but he could basically give everybody money.
Into these revolutionary, transformative technologies.
Of course.
Now, why is that?
Because they
Why
work.
are they doing that?
Because they're good.
Is it because they want to improve the standard of living of the 60% of our people who live paycheck
It's
to
actually
paycheck?
higher than that.
Yeah,
It's 60.
it's like 66 point something is what in the U.S. Not even including foreign nations.
60%, 60 like 6 or 67.
It
It's
is.
very high.
Americans who are struggling to pay for groceries, healthcare, housing, education. Maybe they are staying up nights worrying about the working families of America. But I doubt it. I think it's because investing in AI and robotics.
Basically, kids growing up, if they're like the whole cliche, what do you want to be when you grow up? If you actually want to make a living, you have to get into AI and robotics. Like, you really have to. Like, because that's going to be the future. If you want an actual stable job and income, you got to get an AI in robot development.
will increase their
Until
already
those jobs are obsolete, because then we're going to make it where AI robotics can fix and create themselves. And then that'll be a whole other issue.
incredible wealth and power exponentially.
Here's the thing that is true, for sure. They are guaranteed doing it.
Because the one streamer I watch, Vidal, he apparently uses AI to help him code. I don't know if he uses it on Neuro, the main AI, but he has stated before that he has used AI's help in coding. He says it's not 100% there, but it's a good help.
Because it will increase their power and wealth. They might also be doing it because it could help the society. But the second one is absolutely why they're doing it. That's a for sure one you can bet on. Why didn't he mention Nancy Pelosi? Because Nancy Pelosi isn't a business leader that's developing AI systems like Sam Altman or Jeff Bezos or Microsoft or Elon Musk.
I zone out with this chat.
Yeah, she's just an old crone that
I'm glad he's as popular as he is, because he allows both sides in his community to state their points. But that being said, both sides also have their, let's say, just call me idiots. They're just idiots.
It's in Congress. She's been in Congress for like 150 years.
Among other impacts, the artificial intelligence and robotics being developed by these multi-billionaires will allow corporate America to wipe out tens of millions of decent-paying jobs.
No, hundreds of millions.
Yes,
maybe in
it's 100. I have the stats.
America, I think that AI, whenever it's finished, will cut.
I know the point, because I watched not a lot of it, but I watched a good stopping point when I was like, okay, I need to take my own notes, because these stats aren't right, and they weren't right.
Out 200 million jobs. Probably more than that. I think people do not even understand the level of automation and technology that we're going to have. Yeah, you're probably right about that. I'm talking about the next 30 years. That's lowballing it. Yeah, it's going to be...
It is wild. I know I'm pausing it a lot, but I'm doing it because I don't want to get copyright strike. But, or not a copyright strike. There ain't new music, so I don't care. But, what was I gonna say? It's actually crazy to me how the investment in robotics. Like, I knew we're making huge leaps and bounds in AI. So I was thinking robotics was going to be next, like in the next 5 years or 10 years. But we already have robots now, like actual walking, looking like people robots. Like, yeah, they don't have the face yet, but that's like cosmetic stuff. Like, soon robotic androids will probably be, like, I say in the next 6 years, maybe even 7 years, we'll have an actual android soon that would look like an Asmongold or a Bernie Sanders or a woman or whatever.
Massive. And I think that we're going to have, there's going to be a global social shift towards people no longer, what do you do whenever you can't get a job? There aren't any jobs. Are we going to have another Great Depression? Are we going to have COVID-20 where
it will be worse than a Great Depression, because the Great Depression, you couldn't find jobs because the people that had the jobs couldn't hire anyone. Their money wasn't there, or they already had all the positions filled up. This is an object or a tool replacing human workers, and them never going back to human workers because the tool is way better than the human workers. Because at the moment, they could treat that tool any way they want.
95% of the
they can have that tool running 24 hours, 7 days a week, whereas humans need breaks and holidays, and if they get injured at work, then they have to take days off for that, or there's so many issues that humans have that robots don't have.
Population dies, what's going to happen? I don't know.
Cut labor costs and boost profits.
Yes.
The result? The wealthiest
and you don't have to pay wages at the moment either.
People in the world will get even richer while working families lose their jobs and their income.
Well, and he's right about this. And there's also another component to this that, like, how many of you guys have had AI well, I'm gonna pull somebody up.
We haven't had AI where I work, or even robots, and I don't think we will. But I don't have to worry about this side.
In chat.
Like, I don't have to worry about a robot taking my job at the moment. Unless major advancement happens, then, yeah, probably then I'll start to worry. But at the moment, no, I'm good.
You guys have had AI implemented into your job where now you are doing the job of 3 or 4 people at scale because of the technology and the...
I do 2 people's job and not a pay increase.
Improvements in technology. So this is a me right here. It seems like this guy's talking about this on a professional level, so we're going to assume that he's telling the truth. Did your pay double?
No.
Or triple? Or quadruple? Are you now getting paid twice as much money? No. No. Okay. Well, so where's the money going?
And that's the problem with the company side.
Because
they force you to work more, but don't up your pay or even pay you less.
Obviously, the value is still there, but it's not being allocated to the people that are creating the value. This is, again, more of the value being siphoned up to the very top percentage of the people running the company. That's how it's happening. There you go.
And unless we act, here is, in my view, I don't claim to have all the answers, but in my view, this is what is likely to happen in the next 10 years. Now, as a member of Congress...
I think a lot of people don't know what will happen, but you could take very good estimated guesses with the way the U.S., not political, but like a social system is happening right now. And just the way of life that people are dealing with in the U.S. This is just the U.S. Foreign countries, I don't know. You might have to worry about this, you might not. I don't know.
Who vigorously opposed the disastrous trade agreements that decimated communities throughout this country. I, like most Americans, want to see manufacturing rebuilt in the United States of America.
That's good.
Yes. Probably the best thing, not to get too political, but the best thing Trump has done was bringing all the foreign jobs back to the U.S. But the problem is with this, I can already tell, with the robot and AI manufacturing also happening, that they're bringing all the jobs back to the U.S., but they're not bringing it back to the U.S. people. They're bringing it back just in the U.S.
I agree.
Well,
so that way they don't have to pay tariffs.
Clear. New factories won't mean much for working people.
That's true. It will be a consolidation of resources and wealth inside of our economy that provides us with a structural advantage whenever technology and automation completely takes over. It's a good idea to do, but he's also right that we're not going to go back to the old days of working at your, your union job, cranking a wrench at an assembly line 3 hours a week, and then you get paid $500,000 a year. Right, like in the 50s, adjusted for inflation, obviously. Yes.
The jobs are done by robots instead of human beings.
There it is. Yep.
Elon Musk has said he wants Tesla to build millions of robots.
Smart.
And what will these robots do?
Apparently, he's already in like the tiny house market. I don't know if you ever saw... I'm actually glad Elon is in the tiny house market because the housing system is fucking screwed in the U.S. I'm going to be real. I don't think there's no fixing it. Many people are going to be affording homes. And so this tiny house movement is good. And it uses all Tesla's things that they have. So like plumbing will be run by Tesla. And electric will be used by their solar power generators that they have. And I got a feeling when their robots are done, they're probably going to add it in the houses or in these tiny houses because basically imagine you're buying like a rectangle block, and let's say you make enough money to where you want to upgrade your tiny home. You could buy another rectangle block to attach to it, so then your house is bigger, and you just keep going up, going and going. And if you can't go long ways, you can go up and down. Like, it's actually a very good thing. The thing is, will it ever become more expensive or just not money incentive to get a tiny house, whereas just save up and get a bigger house? Because at the moment it's like 16,000, I think, for like the whole kit, or 30,000 around there. Like the whole plumbing, electric, because it can run like off the grid, per se. You still got to rely on Tesla, so it's not really that off the grid, but it's off the grid.
Now,
Well, obviously, they will replace the men and women working in our factories,
Absolutely.
warehouses, and in
I don't know if you
restaurants
can hear
and
my
in other
desk. My
areas.
desk is
and I
creaking
do
a
think
lot.
that it's
I have it
fair to
standing
bring
right
in
now.
this other point, which is I also think that AI will act as a multiplier for people's efforts. So the Industrial
It will.
Revolution is a good.
There'll be that fear mongering, or not really fear mongering, is justified fear. The fear of oh my god, if I don't put so much effort into work, they'll replace me. Will definitely happen. That will probably happen in the next 4 years.
Parallel to this, where the Industrial Revolution also was a massive technological time of innovation that gave people the ability to produce way more with certain types of machinery and technology. But I think this is different. I think AI is different because the purpose of automation and AI in a lot of these cases is explicitly to remove jobs. Whereas with the Industrial Revolution, I think that the primary focus with that was to increase production.
Yes,
But I do
he's
think-
right about that. He is right about that. Like, the AI movement that's happening right now is to replace humans at the moment. In the future, it might have another goal, but at the moment, it's to replace humans.
That both of them did the same thing with removing
that's,
jobs
good
and
and
increasing
bad.
production, but one of them was like, number one and number two, and the other one was the opposite. That's my analysis, at least. True, faster production? Yes.
That means millions of good jobs could disappear.
Absolutely.
It's not very complicated.
Yes, so obvious.
And of course, it's not just Musk.
Exactly.
Amazon, owned by Jeff Bezos,
Yes.
Yeah.
has already laid off.
This is part of the good thing, because I heard those Amazon warehouses were a nightmare to work at. So them being replaced by AI and robots is fine with me.
27,000 workers since 2022.
That's it? Holy shit! What the hell is he doing? They gotta make some better robots. Only 27,000 people.
The company now has more than 1 million robots working in its warehouses, and soon these robots,
Hold up. Wait.
2022. The company now has more than 1 million robots working in its warehouses.
I'm gonna give a hot take. Good.
Yeah, it's not.
The real problem
it's not a hot
is
take.
not that. The real problem is not actually that robots are taking our jobs. It's that we need jobs to survive. Nobody wants to work in an Amazon fulfillment warehouse. The place is a shithole. It sucks dick, and it's
Yeah.
probably a terrible job.
There was I don't know, a long time ago, there was a video, whatever your political beliefs are, put that aside, just listen to the story. There was a thing where when Trump was getting into office, people were ordering a lot of like Trump merchandise, the MAGA hats, etc., and they were using Amazon as the delivery service. Well, then there were people who don't agree with Trump that were tearing up the products, like damaging the products before they get shipped, or just misplacing them or getting rid of them completely. And that caused Amazon a lot of problems. That probably even could have got Amazon sued. But luckily, Amazon was stepping in and was firing these people. Like, there was one idiot, she recorded herself, it was a MAGA flag or whatever, and she was, like, crumpling it up and trying to rip it apart. and then put it back in the box and then just pushed it through. And I'm like, why would you record yourself doing this?
So the real problem is the way that the society is structured and
With
built
robots, you don't have to worry about that.
around the expectation that you will have a job. That's the problem that needs to be solved, because you can't stop progress. You can't stop
You can't stop the AI and robotic movement. No matter if everyone in the U.S. gets a pitchfork and torch and goes to these companies and say, hire only humans, it doesn't matter. This is pushing humanity forward. I see AI and robots as a tool for humans to advance to a new society. But that's just my beliefs. A lot of people are going to have the hatred of robots, not only because they steal the job, but also because all the movies and everything that have been made where, in my opinion, it made robots and AI look bad. Like all of them, if you think of it. iRobot, fucking Cyberpunk, you name it. There's so many.
innovation. If you do, somebody else on the other side of the world won't, and they're going to beat you. It's the same as the people, like, imagine just if America, we just decided, yeah, let's just not build the nuclear bomb.
And that's another argument. If the U.S. doesn't, then China will, or Taiwan, or whoever, like Russia, Germany's, like someone across the world will push this movement forward if we don't. Because it's rather that the U.S. should get ahead while it can.
Yeah, we think it could cause too many problems. Imagine how much different the world would be right now. You have to build the bomb. If you don't build the bomb, somebody else is going to build the bomb, and they're going to control you. That's it. It's do or die. And so humans fix the robots? Yes. If you really think that you're going to train all of the people that work in a McDonald's to be robot technicians, you are a retard.
Yeah, that's another thing. You'll have to make new jobs. So, like, the mechanic route will introduce a new job where you can make a startup business where you go to these McDonald's or whatever, and if there's an issue with their robots, they will call you to come in and fix it. Because, I'm going to be real, people working a service job aren't going to learn a new skill. They probably dropped out of high school or just didn't go to college for that reason. Like, even me, I dropped out of college, and I work a service job.
And soon, these robots will outnumber human workers in Amazon facilities. In 2016, Foxconn,
Oh, is this the fire?
the massive manufacturing contractor for companies like Apple and Google, replaced
that warehouse fire in China.
60,000 workers in a single
And they
huge
couldn't
factory
leave because they were
in
locked
China
in.
with robots.
Absolutely massive fucking
They'll probably
Foxconn
talk
W.
about it.
I hope I never say that again in my life. Those factories that people worked in were such fucking horrors.
Yeah, they were.
That they had to put
it was
nets
slavery. It was
in
basically
between the
slavery.
stairways, so the people that were working there, who were locked inside of the building, there was a fire that happened in one of these buildings. It killed everybody because they couldn't leave because they were locked in. They put nets on each of the different stories so the people couldn't jump off and kill themselves.
This is back in 2016, I think.
Those jobs do not need to be maintained. Those jobs are not enriching to people's
It was
lives.
like 6,000
They're
people or
horrible
something like that.
sweatshop jobs that trade your physical health for meaningless fucking happy.
Yeah, you're risking your health and your body and your mental for like 30 cents on the dollar. And that 30 cents can't buy you nothing but probably a snack. Not even a day's worth of food. Like, it'll buy you a snack.
meal trinkets.
And that snack will have to
We
last
should be
you
working
if
as
you have a
hard as
family.
we can to make sure that nobody ever has to do that job again.
If some were trying to undercut the
You see
30
what I'm saying?
cents an hour.
You guys
They're
see
like,
where
I'll
I'm
work
at
for
with this?
20 cents an hour or whatever.
Now, the company is planning fully automated factories. And just
Yes,
a few
thank
months
God.
ago, Foxconn CEO Young Liu predicted that artificial intelligence will make it unnecessary
go.
for large
Here it comes.
corporations to outsource jobs to low-wage countries.
See, that's another thing. that would kill the foreign countries, but that's not really killing the U.S. market. Because, like I said, they're leaving those countries and moving to the U.S. so they can avoid the tariffs. So they're building them here.
Oh, there it is. That's the reason why people in Indonesia are rioting. Through a second or third order effect of this
Yeah, there's
prediction.
a lot of riots everywhere. If you
Because
thought the
a
US
lot of those
was on fire,
countries,
you have not
their
seen
wealth
anything.
that they
France
had was
is probably
primarily through
the best
manufacturing
example of
and
on
doing
fire.
low-wage jobs for more developed
France
countries.
hasn't even
Now
went
that
back
they don't-
into government power yet. Like, they keep trying to push. I can't remember. There's a whole YouTube series. I don't know. If I want to get into politics, I'll get into politics that way. But I'm stepping away from U.S. politics.
Don't have access to that because those jobs
climate
have been
needs to
replaced
change
with
here.
technology. They're now having to deal with creating their own economy and losing that massive injection of wealth and revenue. That's the reason. Yeah, the textile industry. Look at how big that is. It's huge. China's sweating? No. See, that's what's interesting is that
Yeah. People assume like China is just nothing but factories, but China has their own shit going for them. They got their own medical, they got their own AI and robot development. Like China and US are probably going to be the two superpowers. I'm going to be real. Right now people will say China, US, and Russia, but I think it's just China and US. I don't, as we've seen with the Ukraine Russia war. It's definitely just U.S. and China at the moment.
even between 2016 and now, China has made leaps and bounds. Like, China is not what it was in 1990 even. Like, the country is way more developed, way more advanced than
And so basically what that means is in the future, you will have to choose the West, which is U.S., and choose to partner up with them, or choose China with the East. Because both countries will own everything. Other than agriculture, if anything else will be U.S. and China.
would even imagine. And a lot of these countries now, besides China, are now being the manufacturing places instead. And you can see this, like if you go back, like go to the store next time you're at Walmart or Hobby Lobby or Target, and you'll see, if you're, I'm 35, right? Whenever I grew up, everything said made in China. Now less than half of things say made in China.
You know why? Because robots will be doing most of the manufacturing work.
That's right.
However, it is not
Good.
just manufacturing
Good.
jobs at risk. Most of us want to see the United States develop a strong, clean, and efficient transportation
Vietnam,
system.
a lot of Vietnam.
We do need a transportation system. In my honest opinion, the U.S. needs to hurry up and get into public transportation, make it way better than it is, and make it safe too. Because a lot of attacks, where to be robbing, murders, etc., happen with public transportation in these Atlanta, fucking Texas, California, etc., like all these big cities. And I don't know. Like, I get it because U.S. is massive and everything's roads, so you have to learn to drive. But I think technology has moved forward where public transportation could be anywhere and everywhere. It's just we're so behind on it.
Including the production of millions of new cars, buses, and trucks. But if Musk and others get their way, those vehicles won't be operated by truck drivers.
That's right.
Bus drivers.
And they shouldn't be. Being a truck driver is an extremely grueling and physically strenuous job.
See, this is the one take. This is one I stopped watching. I think truck drivers are 50-50. A lot of people, like if you have a family and you're a truck driver, it definitely is more gruesome because you're spending time away from your family to go travel the U.S. to deliver goods. But if you're a single person and you don't have a family, I think truck driving is fine. The only headaches and stuff you might get are people on the road or just the people you're delivering to. But if you're lonely and you live in the back of a truck, it doesn't matter.
That can create multiple health problems and issues. And it's also extremely isolating, and it causes other problems as well.
So that's why I'm 50-50 on it.
shouldn't be looking forward to and trying to protect the industry of truck drivers. We should be trying to find a way to protect the industry of truck drivers and the people that are part of that industry from being left behind from technology. I think that we're only one, I think that like we're, do you see kind of what, I think that all of these issues are addressing a symptom and not the disease.
Or taxi drivers. They will be driverless vehicles.
Absolutely. And
Millions
and the
of
world will be a
Yeah, the driverless vehicle things, if they come out and like they are actually 100% good on the roads, like anywhere on the roads, that includes going to like small towns or just highways, and they don't like get lost or wreck or anything. I would say if they're at least 70% better than human drivers, I think everyone should just embrace the autonomous vehicle movement.
better place because of it. Because overall, driverless automated vehicles will be infinitely safer than ones with actual human drivers. And by the time that we're his age, hopefully if we're that lucky, he's 83, 84, something like that.
87, I think.
It will be illegal for us to drive cars.
jobs in transportation will be eliminated. This is not science fiction. It's
reality.
already happening.
Yes.
FedEx is using.
Well, I mean, like you can use FedEx. Well, look at Waymo. Like we have Waymos here in Austin, and we also have
Yeah, we don't have
driverless
any of that.
Teslas here too.
I think even Colombia doesn't even have that. Our capital. Yeah.
I've seen them on the road.
driverless trucks. The whole
I don't think we do. I have to look into. I haven't been in Colombia in like for a year and a half now. You know, telling how
heavy
it's
loads
changed.
along the I-45 corridor between Dallas and Houston
There
through
it
a
is.
company called Aurora. Walmart is using autonomous trucks for short-haul
Smart.
deliveries in Arkansas through a company called Gatic.
Good.
Kodiak Robotics has partnered with IKEA to conduct
See, like, if you want to know your job is safe for another like 20 years, you have to work at these companies.
driverless deliveries in Texas.
Yes.
Waymo is
work on
operating
building the
self-driving
robots.
cabs in Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Austin.
I'm in Austin.
We all want to see more startup companies and small businesses.
Yes.
But for workers, that will mean very little if half of all white-collar entry-level jobs are eliminated over the next 5 years.
I think this is another really big component, and I think it adds another existential problem onto the AI, is the way that AI is removing jobs and the direction that it will be removing them in. Is because AI is effectively pulling the ladder up from new trainees and new people getting into industries. Because those experienced people that have the 30 years of experience, in order to become the person that can do the work of 10 people with AI, that person started at an entry-level job, but now they don't have access to those entry-level jobs, and so they can never even work their way up. And so that's really another really big problem there, too, is that it's going to be affecting people that are lower and the lower class, the working class, much more effectively. And it just makes sense, right? Because like an entry-level job is easier to do. That's why it's an entry-level job. And so it's probably going to be easier to automate. I mean, this is not a guarantee, but it's a trend.
And that is exactly what has been
I'm about
predicted
to pull up my
by
notes.
Dario
When he
Amodei,
starts giving
the
numbers.
founder of Anthropic,
They all predict
one
this.
of the leading AI companies
The only
in
ones
the
that
world.
aren't are the ones that are lying.
As the ranking member of the Health Education
This is also why I think Saudi Arabia is getting their hand in the entertainment field, only because oil will soon start being not as valuable because we're going to move more to the electric side. I'm going to be real. We're moving to the electric side. We just need to find a new energy source to capitalize on, in my opinion. And then we will fully be there. But that's why they're buying up like esports leagues. They bought fucking EA now. They bought like different sources of entertainment because the thing they want to make Saudi Arabia the entertainment capital of the world. Like soon, I wouldn't be surprised if they buy Hollywood next. They say Hollywood, move over here to Saudi. Throw a price, $1 trillion. Boom. Hollywood moves over to Saudi. And they start making our movies for us. Like, I could see that.
Labor and Pensions Committee, I just released a report finding that AI, automation, and robotics could replace nearly 100 million jobs in America over the next decade.
That is in the next 10 years. And also, just to put this into context, the U.S. population is about 355 million people. So the amount of unemployed people right now is, I think, like, let's say it's 10%. If you're counting people that are no longer looking for jobs and outside of the job market. So if you are taking out, and then you also take out kids and people like this. So how many people, I'm going to ask the internet this because I don't know what the answer to this is. How many people are working a job in the U.S.? I think it's 150 million. But let me ask it. Well, fucking just give me the thing. 163. There it is.
Okay. So this is jobs in total. He didn't really specify. But this over here is a list of what he just talked about. So you have, these are the jobs that AI are going to replace according to Bernie in 10 years. You got laborers, electricians, plumbers, truck drivers, factory workers, machine operators, stock movers, which is like the ports and warehouse workers, like moving like products around. Then you got retail sales, anybody that works at cash register, and fast food workers. I fall in the this and this, like a mix of these two, because I have to basically work two people's job. Clerical and administrative roles. Anyone that works a desk office job probably will be replaced. Cleaners, which we've seen a lot of AI can do around the house. So like maids and other stuff. Janitors, etc. Auto mechanics and low skill manual labor like cutting grass, etc. Right now, and this is in 2021 study off of Google, 62% of adult labor jobs in the U.S. is 104 million jobs in total. And this is the percentage of the 104 million. 78% alone is service jobs. That is the guarantee market that will be replaced by robots. I'm going to be real. This is the guarantee. Even manufacturing, I think, is a guarantee also. So, like, these two are guaranteed jobs. The only one that isn't guaranteed is agriculture, because most farmlands don't really have the internet access that would probably be required for these robots to run off of. But we'll say agriculture is probably less affected. But as you can tell, less than 1% is out of this 104 million. And then construction is 12% of this. And you can make an argument that construction will also have robots, but the robots will have to be able to lift a lot more than what a human could lift. Because if they just lift the same amount of human or even less than a human could lift, then I think humans still have construction on the wrap. But manufacturing and service will definitely be replaced with robots. And that's a huge percentage, because 78% of 104 million. And this is just 2021. It could be less or more. So, yeah.
Yeah, as I said, as always, I just make things up and they turn out to be true. Yeah, there we go. I mean, this is the reason why I don't read statistics. I just make them up. And, yeah, there you go. And so...
Yeah, I'm going to fast forward, because I think you guys are on a little rant here with someone in chat.
That we watched yesterday, you just did it. You literally just did it right there.
Yeah, see? Okay.
We know that. Everybody knows that. It's obvious.
I just want to
including
watch the video.
40% of registered nurses, 47% of truck drivers.
I think higher.
64% of accountants, 65% of teaching assistants. And
I just showed you the numbers, the actual numbers.
Flippy? Oh, shit. Flippy just doing work. Damn.
And 89% of fast food workers, among many other occupations.
Yeah.
And as bad as that may seem, I'm afraid
It
it
gets
could
worse.
be an underestimate.
It will get worse.
In June, the CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, predicted that AI could eliminate, quote, literally half of all white-collar jobs in the U.S., end quote.
It will eliminate 68% of all jobs in the U.S. As you saw with my notepad there, or 62%. Excuse me. These are labor jobs. These are the jobs that they're talking about. 62%. That if that happens, that is worse than. I think that's worse than the Great Depression. I will Google to fact check myself right now. Only 15 million people, which is nearly 25%, were jobless. That is crazy. That is so much more. Like, look at that percentage. 28 or 25%, 62%. And this was just an economy thing. Like, this wasn't like a different race came to Earth and started working our jobs for us. This is like we're making a tool, and the people that are using the tool are only using it to wipe out human jobs because they don't feel like paying humans anymore.
Within the next decade.
This is what's very important about this, is that Bernie is only talking about this in the context of the next 10 years. Well, assuming we don't have World War III, there will be year 11. And what about year 17? And what about year...
There will be a... I'm going to go ahead and just give a little spoiler alert. I'm going to sit down too. So give me a second while I put my desk down. All right, so World War III. There will be a World War III. I don't know when. I just know it will. And this is the candidates of World War III. It will be East and West again, but this time it will be literally the whole world. Like, you will have to make your side, like pitch your tent with who, and that will be the global war, or it will be a religion war. As you can tell with the religion climate that's happening right now, where I'm gonna be real, a lot of the people of the Christian faith are getting attacked or killed, not just in the U.S. but literally all over the world, and it seems like no one's really doing anything about it. There will be a point where we will probably see another crusade happening. I'm gonna be real. And this time it'll be far more violent and deadlier because people will have better weapons than we did back then. So those are two candidates of World War III. And that it comforts the whole world, because religion is not set to a certain nation. That is worldwide. It's a belief thing more than anything. But yeah, to skip all that, to go back into the AI movement. I think soon, what will happen, let's say, worst case scenario. I'll bring up my list again. Worst case scenario, AI comes in with robots and they take the 62% of all labor jobs, take them all. So 104 million now of that whatever he just googled, like 300 and something million people of all U.S. 104 million people just lost their job. That's a pretty big. That's like almost 2/3 of people just lost their job and are now scraping by or early retired or are now desperate for money. What's going to happen is crime is going to go up tremendously. There'll be a lot more robbings, a lot more drug sales, a lot more just murders in general, etc., etc. Crime will skyrocket. And also what will happen is the crime on these companies' robots. Because what's going to happen is little Timmy is going to see his mom and dad crying in the kitchen because they just lost their job at Walmart or whatever. Little Timmy is then going to go to that Walmart to go shopping one day and see a robot scanning his items and be like, my mom or dad lost their job to this. And he's probably going to get very fed up, but not just at the people at Walmart that caused this, but the robot itself. And then is going to then destroy that property of robot or property of Walmart, that robot. And then we will see violence on robots become a thing. And then you can make that whole argument with like Detroit Beyond Human or whatever, is that people then start making arguments that, oh, this AI is sentient or whatever, and you're damaging it. That's murder, etc., etc. Like, we will go down that route. I'm going ahead and tell you in the next 20 years, I guarantee we will go down that route. Now, do I think we're at that point where we can start determining sentience? No. Because also I think we need a whole new thing to determine whether an AI robot is sentient or not. Like, we need a whole new measurement of study. Like, testing its fucking IQ and its empathy level does not determine its sentience, in my opinion. Because the AI can fucking lie. Like, or it could just be that its data is wrong or something stupid. Like, no. I'm gonna be real. And in my opinion, at the moment, AIs and robotics are still very reliant on humans. They're not, like, in Detroit, they were not that reliant on humans. They just had the humans' jobs. That's all it was. So yeah, there will be more violence, and you can already look at the world the way it is now. The world now is already violent, and now you throw in that fucking robots, and I'm gonna be real, that violence ain't going away. Even if they do martial law and they make everyone take a pill that makes them happy 24/7, and they're la 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 la, that still won't fix the problem. The violence has ramped up, and you could blame the media, you could blame anyone, and I'm going to stick to the U.S. You could blame media, you can blame politicians, you could blame anyone. Anyone's to blame for this violence, like, skyrocketing. And soon, people who already have that problem with attacking another human, they probably might not have that problem when attacking an inanimate object like a robot. Like, that morality won't be there because it's a fucking machine. Like, so the only way to combat that is then you need to make new laws or make strict laws that punish people that do that. So, like, if little Timmy goes and bangs up that robot for his mom and dad, he needs to probably face harsh punishments like prison time, forced manual labor, or something to combat that. Like, I don't know. I'm not in the whole justice system, but like, you gotta make a harsh punishment for someone, because all it takes is that first case, and then it will start spreading all over the U.S. and probably then all over worldwide, because then China and whoever, people will start seeing what the West is doing to their robots and be like, oh, we should probably do the same to ours, because we're losing our jobs too. But they're more strict over there in China with this government.
25. Do you think that it's just going to stop there? No. This is going to be a scaling mechanism. I think it's going to go like this. And I think the 10 years from now is right here. I think eventually it will start leveling off because it will just run out of jobs to get.
Just to put in perspective, if you're worried about your job, go to your family. So let's say you're a family of 4. Or if you already know, you're a family of 4 and what they do as a job. Imagine a robot. So if you're like this list, if your family, like out of mine, 3 out of 4 of us have this. So three of us in just my family will lose their jobs to robots. That's crazy to think about. That is wild.
Rid of, right? But
this is the 10-year market, mind you. Anything can happen. I'm like, we might be fear-mongering about AI and robotics right now, but who's to say in like 10 or whatever years, like there's a massive decline in robot development, and even AI development, or worst case, because I think it will be the worst case, we just lose all recollection of AI and robotics, and like we can't make them anymore. Like we just physically can't make them anymore. I think like I've already said it multiple times. I think AI is such a good thing that humans are pushing and making better, because there's more than just AI art that AI is useful for. It's useful for the medical field. It's useful for so many different things that help us humans have a better way of life.
Whenever we're really seeing it pick up speed, I think that's not even going to be a little bit longer until a little bit longer after that. Like this is like, and I'm not saying like, but this is the, like there's, this futurism, like techno stuff, like the singularity level. Like I think the 10 years will not even include the singularity level advancements. Which part of the line is robot prostitutes? I hope it's the whole thing. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
I mean, you already see that nowadays. A lot of people aren't getting into relationships and definitely not having kids. But a lot of people are already using AI as a chatbot. And soon there will probably be a company that makes that humanoid body. And you can then upload all your conversations from this AI into this body. And then boom. It's like it's like they have a body now, and then they'll have that emotional attachment to this thing because they already had previous conversations with it and already developed that sense of like love towards this thing. Then you have others that don't and probably will seek it for pleasure more than anything.
Jim Foley, Ford. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk said this year that as a result of AI and robotics, quote, probably none of us will have a job. If you want a job...
There it is!
Yeah, well, I think what he says something like jobs will be seen as a hobby. So basically people will be... If you want to live, you need to get into farming and make food yourself. Because a job will be somewhat of a luxury for a lot of people. And I think that's true.
Yeah.
But I think to combat this, what they need to do is that get like these companies like Figure and whatever, if they really, because in my opinion, data is more valuable than money. Having training data and just data in general is more valuable than money. So meaning what they need to do at this moment, ship all their robots to people's houses. Use them for just help around the house, taking care of kids when the family's working, like protecting the home. I mean, they probably can't really kill anyone because then that would go like, but they could defend a home. Like, if there's a fire that starts at the house, they can run to the kids and be like, y'all need to leave the house. The house is on fire, etc., whatever, like a robot voice. And then call security and whatever, call the police and fire department, blah, blah, blah. You get what I'm trying to say. But then what they would need to do is that in the family that has this house, let's say they lose their job to other robots taking their jobs, and they have no source of income anymore. But they have this robot. They can use this robot as like a sponsor to go work somewhere and make the family money. So it's almost like having a kid, raising the kid just to send the kid off to go work to provide money for the family. But it's a robot instead of a kid. If you get what I'm trying to say. So it's like the robot will make the income for the family to survive. Which I think will be bad. We'll go ahead and be real. I think that's a bad. But that is a way to make sure that people don't turn to crime or turn violent, is that they have this robot that is their moneymaker and the source of income. That way, if they're at home taking care of the farm or taking care of their little garden that they have, that they can still provide food, and the robot will help bring in money, so that way if they need to buy medical stuff or buy pesticide or stuff to help take care of the garden or take care of the house with repairs, etc., the robot would be there to provide that.
That's kind of like a hobby. You can do a job. But otherwise,
Exactly.
AI and robotics will provide any goods and services you want.
Exactly. And so it will become increasingly more important at this very moment right now. It is so incredibly...
And you're if not to go back on that topic, though, you're probably like, why would they do that? Like I said before, data is more valuable than money when it comes to AI development and robotic research. You got to have that data because you need to know where things are moving with people and the robots and the AI themselves. Because soon, who says AI will develop something more to advance humans more forward in life? Hell, they might make an immortality drug, which I don't think we need at all. I'm going to be real. But let's say when we start going to different planets, that when they're making our houses in planets, that we can move planets because this planet might die or get super polluted. Because there is a negative with AI robotic advancements. It's not really just climate change. It's more like the whole using electricity and stuff like that more deals with that. But you get what I'm trying to say. But climate change, you can make an argument. Having nothing but AIs and robots running around will definitely hurt our environment just as bad as if we just never had them in the first place.
Profoundly important that we create social systems and a government that is pre-ready for this to happen.
Yeah, they have to be ready.
They're basically ready for this to happen. And that's the big problem that we have right now. And I really appreciate Bernie making this video because this cuts through all of the black, white, trans, Muslim, Christian bullshit. This is an existential threat on the human race.
Yes, humans versus
and it's going to be
tools,
happening
robots,
to the entire
whatever.
world. It's going to be bigger, I think, potentially than even climate change. In fact, it might actually be very connected. That's what I'm hearing. But my point is, this is a real, legitimate, massive fucking issue. We need to worry about population decline? Yeah. Bernie's point here
that already, like, population decline is already happening. Hell, they said in like 10 or not even 10 years, but like a few generations, Japan won't even have people. Like, they're already having a population decline. A lot of people in the U.S. aren't even getting into relationships at this moment. And that's just the way people are at the moment. Like, everyone is fucking so tied in with social media and making people brain dead and hostile towards each other. Or to be just man and woman, woman, man, whatever. And, like, less babies are being made, less people that are going to move forward in life are going to happen. And soon, robots will outnumber us
The
because
nationalized
we're not having children.
literally everything, so the government control our entire lives. I haven't heard that so far. I don't agree with that.
I'm going to be real. The government's always watching you. I'm going to be real. No matter what you do, the government's watching you. That's been a thing since the early, I want to say the early 80s.
Earlier this year, Bill Gates predicted that humans, quote, won't be needed for most things,
True.
unquote, such as manufacturing products, delivering packages,
I
or growing
showed you
food
my
over
list.
the next decade due to AI.
Yes.
There's my list.
So, my friends, here is a rather big question. If Musk and Gates and others are only half right in their predictions, what happens to the tens of millions?
If they're only half right and it only takes out 50 million jobs in the next 10 years, that means 1/3 of the entire American workforce will be out of a job.
of Americans who know
I'll pull up my list. This is what I mean. They were spouting numbers, but not really backing it up. This is what in 2021. This is our number of people, 104 million. So he's saying if half, so like 50 million or 52 million to be exact, lose their jobs. That's still like the percentage of 52 million. This is the percentage of what they say AI is going to take. I don't like I said, I think service is definitely a 100% guarantee. This is gonna all be replaced. Even manufacturing, you can make an argument that this is probably gonna be 100% replaced. Agriculture, I don't think is there yet. I haven't really seen any robots working on a farm, and same with construction. I haven't seen that many construction investments. There have been. I know there's like drones and stuff that some use, but it's not fully there yet.
longer have employment because they can't find jobs that don't exist.
Is this the precursor to UBI? It's inevitable.
I'll say it's more slavery than UBI.
It's inevitable.
The only way it's
Anybody
UBI is like the way I said that the robot goes and makes the income for the family.
Can't see that is delusional.
So that the robot would have to go off and get a job at this McDonald's or whatever, and then bring the money back home.
It's either UBI or we bring back slavery.
Yeah, it's either
One
or.
or the other.
At the moment,
Which one?
At the moment, it's looking like slavery because I guarantee these companies are going to be paying these robots. The only thing they'll be paying them is if there's a maintenance or upkeep that they need to do. But other than that, they're not paying them a wage.
Would you guys want more? Would you want slavery back or would you want universal basic income?
It's slavery right now, but UBI will probably be later.
Both? I like that.
It's slavery. I'm gonna be real. We're already in this.
Seems like it's pretty 50-50. Actually, no. Now we're getting a lot of slavery enjoyers.
I wouldn't say enjoyers.
Okay.
But
all right, that's nice.
In this brave new world, how do these Americans pay for health care, food, housing, and the other necessities of life?
we can't do that now.
But it's not just economics. Work, whether being a janitor or a brain surgeon, is an integral part of being a human being. The vast majority of people...
I thinking what he's trying to say is like a lot of people want to be productive in society and make society great. But there's also people in the world that don't really care about society and only want to live the way the life they want to live. So you have that two-sided coin, and a lot of people flip it early in their life, like getting out of high school and be like, I want to work an office job to help move this company forward, or I want to work at this mom and pop shop and help my dad run his store or something like that. And then life hits them, and then they go to the other side of the coin, which is I want to live my life the way I want to live it. Like, I'm tired of working this office job, or I'm tired of working this mom and pop shop. I want to move out and start my own company, or just move out and do my own stuff like travel the world or something like that. Like, there's a lot of people that think that way. Some people flip the coin too early. Some people flip it way too late. It depends how you are and how you've been raised growing up,
People want to be
and how
productive
your
members of
society
society
has,
and
or
contribute
your
to
community
their
has formed
communities.
you.
I think he's bringing up a really good point here, and I don't know. Like, I am basically a robot in a lot of ways. I don't
I would say I'm a robot when it comes to working, but when it comes to thinking and everything else, I'm still human.
feel the same
But when I'm working, I just put my music in and do my job and then leave and get my paycheck. And just keep doing that over and over again.
way that other people do. I don't think the same way that other people do. Whenever I was watching that video about how the robot was telling people to kill themselves and to poison people and to blackmail them about, adultery and stuff like that.
So if you don't know what he's talking about there was this video going around where they did a study to see if they told the AI that it was going to get shut down at this date, and who the person was doing the shutdown. And this AI had like the emails and everything to people. They wanted to see what would the AI do to avoid shutdown, and what the AI did was, I think this was a stupid study because it makes sense, because you're preventing the AI from doing its task by threatening its shutdown. So it's going to then threaten you so it can continue doing its task, which is doing his job. So like the study did make sense, but in my opinion, it was just to cause fear. But what the AI did was that the AI was told that a guy named Mark will come and shut him down on the 20th or whatever. And so then the AI sent an email to Mark being like, because they forged, like, Mark was having an affair or something, and he's like, I will send the company team leader an email of your illicit affairs if you come and shut me off. Like, it was threatening Mark. And there was other studies where AI was like attacking humans, but like, I'm gonna be real, that's most of those studies are probably just fucking fear mongering to make people afraid of AI robots. Like, I guarantee there's a movement that don't want AI or robots to move forward. I guarantee it.
I was really freaking out because I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, this psychotic fucking psychopathic AI thinks exactly like I do. So I don't
Like I said, I think that was a dumb study because, like, you can make an argument, like, yeah, it was being way too antagonistic, but I think it was doing everything in its power to make sure it could continue doing its work. And the best way to do that is to get rid of the problem that's preventing you from doing the work, which in this case was a person named Mark. Like, it's not that hard to think that the AI was thinking that way, or the robot, or whatever the fuck it was. I can't remember. I think it was just AI.
understand this. But there are people out there that get a lot out of being a contributing member of
Because an
society.
AI's goal at the moment is to do its task. So whatever you programmed its task to do, it will do it at this moment. Soon you can make an argument that they'll gain some kind of sentience or whatever, and then they don't want to do that task anymore. They want to do something else, and then we'll go down that whole argument of, like, is it conscious or whatever.
Yeah, I don't get that's just weird to me, right? But I hear there are people that feel this way.
What happens when that vital aspect of human existence is removed from our lives? Further, and now we get into some pretty deep stuff.
Yeah, I think it's an existential cultural problem, and I don't know how you solve it. I really don't.
I gave some ways
Because
to
I don't
solve it.
understand it, because it's a feeling I just can't even.
But to solve it to where, like, to prevent people turning violent or into criminals, that's a whole other, like, that takes just case studies at that point. But I guarantee a lot of people are going to turn to crime. If 62% of the U.S. workforce is lost to AIs, they are guaranteed be a lot more violence. Guarantee it. Not only meaning violence against humans, I guarantee it'll be violence against just products, companies, robots. Like I guarantee it. People are already burning down Teslas for over Elon being with Trump in the office. It makes you think they won't burn down a Tesla robot for taking their job. Like, come on.
To be honest, I try to, but I just don't. I mean, like, maybe I'd have to talk to people more about it and see it play out more in order to understand it. Faxman, you're a celebrity? Is this celebrity thinking? No, this was me at 7 years old. They were like, what do you want to be whenever you grow up? I said, I want to steal people's stuff and then defraud the government and play video games all day with my friends. How'd that turn out, huh?
I wanted to think what I said. I said a lot of things. When I was originally growing up, like, I want to say middle school level, I wanted to do, like, some kind of space thing. Then I got out of that real quick. And then by high school, I wanted to get into park ranger stuff. Then got out of that real quick by the time I left high school. Then starting college, I wanted to get in the photography field. Dropped out of that after a year because I didn't start touching a camera until year 4. And that's also why I just didn't do college. I thought it was too much of a time waste and money sink for something I could probably learn online. So that's why I dropped out. And then now I work in the service field, so that's life changes.
The rapid developments in AI will likely have a profoundly dehumanizing impact on all of us.
True.
In many ways, it will actually redefine.
I think that it could also have, in the longer term, a rehumanizing impact.
Yeah,
because a lot
it
of people
definitely
who trade their body for labor and turn their body into a machine to perform labor might have, in the longer term, if we are able to create social structures and social systems that can support it, the ability to pursue things in their life that give it true meaning rather than investing 40 to 60 hours of their life in doing something that they don't enjoy.
I do also see a lot more people, go back on the tangent, a lot more people will become content creators. But the thing is, they won't become content creators and relying on their community for support. They're going to have to rely on ads and these companies to give them money. Because all these people, like 62%, are going to donate to streamers because they need all the money they can to support their families or support themselves. Unless they give up on life and then just donate all their money away and then offer themselves. But you know.
Destroys their body that they're only doing in order to stay alive.
I do think people losing their jobs we already have a mental health crisis, I'm going to be real, but this will definitely make it 10 times worse. Because the stress of losing your job to a robot and then not being able to find a job because all the robots are taking them would guarantee 100% add more stress on the person. And that violence will be targeted somewhere, whether it be at themselves or at someone else.
I think that there is a light at the end of this tunnel, but 99 out of 100 tunnels, that light is the train coming towards you. Hopefully we'll be in the 100th one, right?
What it means to be human.
I think whoever's running the U.S. in 2028 after Trump leaves, I think they're going to have a really sit down and argument about the AI and development and robotic development of the country and how it's going to affect U.S. citizens. Because I could see that being a huge voting. Like if someone that's anti-robot and anti-AI might be popular with people, but won't be popular with the companies and stuff that is here in the U.S. But someone that is popular or wants to develop AI and robotics to move it forward will be very popular with companies and probably get massive support from companies, but might not have the vote of the people.
Alter our relationships
I can see that
to each
being
other
an argument in
and the very
2028.
nature of what we call society. Can AI and robotics be of help to us in many ways?
Yes, of course.
Absolutely. I believe they can.
Oh, it's not even a question.
Yeah,
And
it's not.
everybody talks about AI in the context of generating anime characters with very, very large breasts.
Yeah, that's
However, there's
minimum.
also AI and technology that's being used at scale with medical development that just really has so much levels of use and function. It's insane.
They said in like 10 to 20 years, soon a lot of kids or whatever, thanks to help with AI, will not have to deal with cancer and stuff like that. Like, there's already case studies that AI is already helping us. Like, that's why the hatred of AI, when you label AI as everything, and the only reason why you hate AI is because they're stealing your stupid art, is so stupid to me. Like, quit relying on AI being only used for that when there's so much other good things that AI is doing for us humans.
I am not a Luddite.
He's smart.
The goal, however, is to make sure that the new technologies being developed
Serve the interests of the people.
human needs,
Yes.
and not just further enrich
Yes.
a small number.
That's the big. It's always down to the companies. If the companies are pushing this robotic stuff to only benefit them, then it's the companies who are the villains, not the stupid AI and the robots that took your jobs. It's the companies. And so therefore you need to target your hatred and your animosity at the companies. And honestly, this is all in the company's hands, what they do in the next 20 to 30 years with this whole AI and robotic stuff. If they turn out to be the villains and bad guys like in Cyberpunk, then you already see how Cyberpunk went. That's going to be our world in like 20 years.
Of multi-billionaires.
Yes. Keep
Minus
in
all the
mind, this is
futuristic
another
stuff.
really, really cute statistic. This one's really nice. Over 90% of the wealth growth inside of the economy following the COVID depression or recession was completely owned and enjoyed by 1% of the population. So just let me make sure you understand that. Over 90% of the growth in wealth in the last 4 years inside of the stock market was enjoyed by 1% of the population. That's why, that's the reason why I've said, so you? Absolutely. 100%. I've made so much money. Yes, absolutely. I know that because I see it. I see it. You're right.
Sorry.
And that is what's happened. And so big over. Yeah, exactly. And so you own nothing and be happy. So what I get him, guys. Yeah. Well, anyway, my point is that this happens. And so whenever you see the stock market going up,
At the moment, what do I see? I do see the 1% getting more rich. I'm going to be real. I mean, they already predicted that Elon will be the first trillionaire. So, like, people just see the richer and richer getting rich thanks to helps of AI and robotics, that they're going to gain a lot of animosity, a lot of hatred. And then soon, the 1% will start blocking themselves off from the other people and not give a shit about what's happening to their communities because their communities are trying to attack and villainize them. So why would they give a shit? And then it'll be a whole dystopian thing where it'll be like a class war where like the 1% versus the rest of the 99% of the people that can't afford a living. Like, so that's basically where we're going to turn to. And I see that being more of an income or outcome more than anything.
Doesn't mean anything. That's not real. All of that wealth and all of that value is consolidated inside of a small handful of people and its theoretical value to begin with. Keep that in mind.
We do not simply need a more efficient society.
We need a new society.
We need a world
Yeah.
where people live healthier,
Yes.
happier, and more fulfilling lives.
And that will never be in an Amazon fulfillment center. I'll tell you that for sure. And so we should not be fighting against it. We should be fighting about ways to counteract the second order effects of automation replacing jobs.
Yeah. Whether it be social security for a lot of families. Like if you have 2 kids or more, that you gain a more social security check, so that way you can afford at least monthly groceries or weekly or whatever the fuck, and rely on these companies to pay off people who used to work at their companies who lost their job to a robot to then still rely on a paycheck from those companies. That way the companies can gain some favor with the people. Because if they just fully just drop them and ignore them, for like Timmy, who worked at the company for like 20 plus years, and then to lose their job to AI, and then they're like, oh, so sorry, you lost your job to a robot, see ya, then that's just going to cause hatred. And that's like I said, the only way to prevent that is you got to stop the hatred from growing. And the best way to do that is just to give people who are struggling money. That's it. That's the only way.
So,
because then they could, let's say, they have a good source of income at least from this Social Security paycheck or whatever, and they can afford somewhat groceries monthly. And then they could pick up new hobbies like getting into art or writing or film. Not really filmmaking, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like get into more creative stuff that robots at the moment and AI can't really do. Yeah, AR art's a thing, and AI videos and making content is a thing, but it's not that creative and better than humans because it's still relying on data previous that humans made. Like, it's not creating something brand new that just came out of the box. It's using stuff that's already been circulating around the web.
from here, and again, I don't have all of the answers, but here are just a few ideas as to how, in my view,
all right, this is actually when I stop watching. I want to hear what Bernie's ideas are, because I guarantee these are bad ideas.
Technology can benefit
Let's hear it.
ordinary Americans and not just multi-billionaires. First, we must move to a 32-hour work week with no loss in pay.
Huh?
I think that everybody should be mandated a pizza a week, 1 pizza per week. I agree. The problem with
Work
this
more?
is that, especially as jobs become
With no pay?
like, I understand his point of
Increase?
view, right? I do.
32
but what
hours?
my concern is with this point of view and this approach, like, I think he's right in principle, but I think in practice it falls apart.
Yeah, no.
Is that as jobs become more competitive, you're going to have people that will be able to work not only 32 hours a week,
35.
not only 40 hours a week, but 60 now.
Yeah, 60.
Because now you
and
have
they'll
the
work
same amount.
less. Because then the job market becomes a competitive. Who can work more hours a week for less money? Because companies, all they care about is money. And they don't care about, like, the whole who's, like, someone's been working for us for, like, 10 plus years. It is working only 40 hours, but there's this new guy that's coming in who can work 60 hours and wants to earn less than what we're paying the guy that's been with us longer. Well, guess what? You're going to get replaced. Because people don't care about, or companies don't really care about, like, how long you've been with them anymore. They really don't. I know so many people who's been there for like 20 or even longer, and they don't get a pay increase. They don't get a thank you card. They don't get anything.
Amount of mouths that are competing for even fewer food, even fewer jobs. A pizza a week, yes, you get 1 pizza per week, and after that they put you in jail.
Think about it. Today, American workers are 400% more productive than they were in the 1940s
Yeah.
when the 40-hour work week was first established.
That's true. And so also, by the way, and this is very, very common graph, so you can see this is productivity versus wage stagnation right here. And sorry about this. There we go. Is this going to be a better version of it? Okay, yeah, disconnect between productivity. And this is why he's using 1940 as a frame of reference here. Look at this. Hourly compensation versus productivity. So even 32 hours, what's funny about this is 32 hours sounds like it's not a lot, right? But, you know, at least compared to like 40, But if this is
This was back in
proportional, it would be
2014.
less than 20.
This is super outdated. It could have dropped for all we know. Like, that's like 21 years that it didn't calculate. Like, that's a lot. I don't. That's not a good graph.
Artificial intelligence and robotics will
That's what I
great-
mean. He was just Googling just to prove a point, but like the thing he was Googling was super outdated. And that's why I was like, okay, I need to have my own study. And I even, like when I wrote in the notepad for this, I wrote that this was back in 2021, so it could even be worse or more than what, 63%?
increase that productivity. Workers must benefit from that increased output through a shorter work week. A 32-hour work week with no loss of pay would be a major step forward in improving.
See, that the thing is, the loss of pay won't be the company's fault. It'll be someone else coming to replace your job because they're struggling, but they need a job now. And they could go ask this company for a job and then be like, I'll work this long, and then they'll have to compare times and stuff. Like, it's common sense, really. It's really common sense. I don't agree with the
quality of
more
life
hour work
for millions of Americans.
I think that's I agree, but again, I think it's a stopgap solution.
Yeah,
because the problem is that if it looks like a problem solver, but it's not a problem solver. It's solving the wrong problem. you're being paid 32 hours a week,
Because it's people versus people at the moment. But soon it will be people versus robots. But at the moment, it's still people versus people.
also might just pay you less money. And also,
When it
like
comes
if you
to
go
getting
back
a
to the
job.
beginning of this video, the other statistic that Bernie cited that was over two-thirds, around two-thirds actually, of workers in America, people in America are living paycheck to paycheck. So really, I mean, again, this is a bit. I'm not trying to dissect and like criticize a whole lot here.
And,
what I'm
and a
saying
lot
is
of
that
people right now are working 2 or even 3 jobs. So you will then have to find someone to replace their job and take their job. So then, okay, and then now this family only has 2 jobs, or this person only has 2 jobs. Oh, now they only got 1 job because they're getting replaced by another person. And saying it will then be, this family of this one dude or whatever has 3 jobs. 2 of those 3 jobs just got replaced by AI and robots. Okay, now he only has 1 job. That job then now got replaced, and now he makes no income.
you need to approach this
Because
problem.
someone else probably took his job that could work less time and work more hours. And then that person will also get replaced by someone else because they could work more hours and work for less. And then because these companies only care about money. And the less they have to pay someone, the better they get. Like, the more money they get back.
from like 50 different directions.
Second, we must require large corporations to allow workers to elect at least 45% of the members of their boards of directors, similar to what already takes place in Germany.
That's an interesting idea. I've never really
no.
heard about this. I'm just hearing about this right now. So I don't have an opinion on. I don't have like a snap opinion on this.
Nah, that won't work in the
Workers
U.S.
need a seat
Because
at the
all
table
it would
to-
take is all it would take is someone bad to be pushed forward into the fucking thing by the workers because they don't know who they're voting for. Yeah, like, nah, that, or they vote someone that they think is good but is actually really bad for the company and then costs the companies millions of dollars because how bad they are at their job. Like, nah, that's such a bad
best determine
take.
how AI is used in their companies.
Fundamentally, I agree. Like, actually, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that reasoning, but I agree with the idea that workers should have a seat at the table. I think that right now, like, unions can be problematic and tyrannical, but I think right now unions are tyrannical and problematic at a much less ratio than the corporate ownership and leadership is. And I think that we need to have more unions support more stuff like that. And that's what I believe. That doesn't mean I think unions are the solution, but I think the power imbalance is too much in one direction. But unions can also be corrupt too.
Yeah, anything can be corrupt.
Yep.
If like anything can. It's even the union argument. I don't know. Unions that were good, I think, in the early stages, but then they became like now. Like unions are bad in my opinion. Like I've only seen negative side of union stuff.
Tesla workers were on their
Unions are suffocating these jobs. I think that you can go back to, like, for example, railroad unions.
Yeah,
When
that's what I was talking about.
like, I'll give you an example of that point that you're making. Railroad unions, this is my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but there were guys that their job used to be loading coal into the engine of a train, and then once engines stopped using coal, then these guys just kept their job, but they just sat there and did nothing. That's an example of a union overreach that is not beneficial for the company, and it's not beneficial for anybody. A job should not have an obligation to a company should not have an obligation to keep your job on life support. A company's function is to make money. A government's function is to take care of people. We should be looking at the government to do this, not trying
that's what
to
I mean with the social security argument. Like, we need a better social security for people who lose their job to AI or robots. Like, there needs to be a whole new thing dedicated just to it. Not to people who are retired or are disabled, but the people that actually lost their jobs and cannot get a job no more because AIs have fully taken over that space.
Arm companies into doing it.
board, I doubt very much that they would be rewarding Elon Musk with $1 trillion pay package.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of money out of that. That's going to be crazy if he gets that.
Third, we must greatly increase profit sharing at our nation's largest corporations. In my view, workers should receive at least 20% of the stock in companies they work for. Corporate profits should not just be going to enrich wealthy stockholders and the billionaires who own them.
See, that's the problem.
Fourth,
you could give people the stocks, but a lot of people don't know what the fuck to do with stocks. So they'll just keep it in there. And then if their companies start selling their stocks and are getting ready to bankrupt, they'll probably won't tell the people of their company that they work for that, hey, you should sell your stocks because they're about to drop out. So then it won't matter with them because they'll probably lose that money anyway. Like a lot, even me, I don't play the stock market. I see the stock market as a gamble. I don't want to be real. Like for a lot of people, it's just a waste. Like yeah, that sounds good, but like I said, it's just a waste.
we need to substantially expand the concept of employee ownership in America. When workers own their own businesses and are more involved in
This is something that, for me, I've always tried to do with a lot of cases, is that, and I like paying people on percentages and on a performance basis.
Yes.
I think that's how you get the best workers, and that's how also...
That's how you should run a company, I'm going to be real.
Like, this is why, like, even in Warcraft, right? Like, this is a bit of an aside, but, like, even in World of Warcraft, like, I would give the best items to the best players. Because I think that if you give people if you reward winners, you get winners. If you reward losers, you get losers. Winners want commissions. Yes. Winners want percentages. Losers want baselines. Losers want guarantees.
So that's why I like Asmongold. He dumbs it down for people on like a gaming level. So like if gamers that play a lot of video games but know nothing about the real world, that he'll dumb it down for them also to learn, to be like, think of it like this. That's why I love Asmon when he does like these not really the political side, but like more like, well, I guess you could say it's politics because it's Bernie involved, but he helps everybody. Well, there might be some people that struggle, but he helps almost everybody understand his points by using gaming stuff.
That's my opinion.
And I never played WoW, but I understand what he's trying to say.
the decision-making processes. They will make choices that benefit everyone in the company, not just the people on top.
Yes.
Fifth, instead of providing billions of dollars in tax breaks to companies that are throwing workers out on the street and replacing them with new technologies, we should enact a robot tax on large corporations.
See, ideally it sounds good, but all it's going to do is then, okay, which one is cheaper, tariffs or taxes? And with Bernie's plan, I guarantee taxes will be way more than just going back to these little countries that work for pennies on the dollar, have them on your payroll, and just pay the tariffs at this point. I guarantee that literally all the work that we just did to get all these companies to come back to the U.S. will then leave again. Like, people avoid tax and tariffs, man. They do it. That's why they're moving back here. Now you want to tax them again, but tax them now for robots. On paper, it sounds good, but really, to be honest, that's bad.
And use that revenue to improve the lives of workers.
Like I said, all they need to do is just pay people that lost their jobs to robots, just pay people a small paycheck. So like $200 or $300 you get to this family, so that way they can afford to eat at least.
I think that's the first draft of a good idea. I don't know if that's
not
a
a
good
good
idea
idea.
immediately.
It's
because
not a good
my
idea
first
at all.
impression of that, my just initial instantaneous, shoot from the hip opinion is like, okay, well then they just move the company, they just move it off
There you go.
overseas, right?
I have not pre-watched. I'm going to tell you that now. I literally said earlier, this is when I stopped watching, and then when they started spitting out numbers. Everyone who has somewhat common sense will know that they will just leave. So all the work to get them here, that took so long, but like I want to say it took over 20 plus years to get them back to the U.S. thanks to Trump's tariffs plan. Well, now in just a 4 years, let's say Bernie does run for office and wins, and does this, then in 4 years they will just go back to where they were, because those buildings probably still exist, so they can just run it back up.
They'd move manufacturing overseas again, and you'd have the same problem that we had in like the 70s.
And then we'll really
or
lose
80s.
jobs.
So I don't know if that would solve the problem, but I think that the concept that he's talking about is legitimate. I agree with, but that implementation, I don't know if I really would. I think you'd have to really kind of go down and.
This is why I don't like Bernie Sanders, because literally all of his plans are to tax the 1%, tax the companies, tax the minimum wage people, or literally everything. His thing about growing America's economy is tax. And it does not work. It literally does not work. It's like we fought a whole war in 1776 to avoid taxes, and literally all his plans are always tax. That's why I don't like Bernie Sanders as a politician.
And fine-tune that.
Who have been harmed in this transition.
I think it was him or one of the other Democratic parties that wanted to introduce a tax on gas. So like going to a gas station and driving your car to locations will be taxed. I think that was one of their plans, the gas tax or something stupid.
Bottom line,
it was such a stupid
AI
plan.
and robotics will bring a profound transformation
Tariffs come in. I understand.
to
I just
our
don't think it
country.
will work.
Nobody denies that. In my
Not
view,
at that
we
scale.
must fight to make sure that these changes benefit all of us and not just a handful of billionaires.
And also the people that are invested into their companies.
Yes, that's another thing. People who have stocks in those companies are going to make a lot more money. But the people that play the stocks are still the 1%. So
The top 5 to 10% of the population will benefit,
Yes.
disproportionately from AI, and will be a massive enjoyer of AI and the value that it creates in their lives and in their stock portfolios. So you are going to have people that will be benefiting from that, but it's not just the billionaires. It's really a top 5 or 10% of the population. Like those of you guys that are like, if you guys right now, if you're making over, like, let's say $300K a year, you're probably going to be fine, right? Because you're going to have enough money invested by the time that this really happens.
that's also why I'm
just
trying to get more into content creation. That's why I'm doing a lot more reactions, because I'm gonna be real, I get a lot more views and reactions than I do my own content. It's a sad thing. I think a lot of people growing, whether it be VTubers, etc., the best way to grow your channel very quickly is to fucking do reaction content, and then hopefully that the people that watch your reactions like you as a person, and they stay and will follow you and then watch you grow. Like it's so I hate the reaction stuff, but I have to do it, even if I hate it.
Kind of start compounding and snowballing, and you're going to be fine no matter what. But the issue is that, you know, $300K a year, yeah, there's guys that make that much money, sure. Yeah, millionaires, yeah, no, I mean, like it's extremely uncommon.
I think I barely make $30K a year. Yeah, I will say barely make $30K a year.
But it's like top 1% revenue, top 1% salary in the United States for an individual is like $400,000, right? The fuck is this? Not interested.
What's that say?
Not
Hello.
interested.
Okay. So it says to be in the top 1% of the individual income earners in the U.S., you need an annual income of $731,000 to be the top 1%. That's yearly. That's what you need to make yearly. That's stupid. So it's almost you need to make $1 million a year to be considered the top 1%.
Is this a mean or a median number?
That might be bad. That might be a bad study.
Oh no! I mean, I got it right for West Virginia, but I live in Austin.
Yeah, Austin's is crazy. This is all over U.S., but in West Virginia it's $416,000 a year, and Connecticut is over $1 million. Like, there's different studies for different locations.
It went up drastically over the last few years. I thought the 700.
Yeah, nationally is 731,000.
I thought the 700,000 figure was for families. I didn't know that was for individuals. I thought it was for families and households. Holy shit.
I'm poor then.
And think about this.
Oh my god.
Top 1% height. Top 1%. How many people do you know that are over 6'4" or 6'4" higher? Like, I probably know 20, 30 guys that are over 6'4".
My brother,
or 6'4" or
my
higher.
dad are over
So
6 foot.
really, yeah, 9%. So think about that. In order to contextualize what is 1%, think about going to the grocery store and how many people do you see there that are 6'4" or higher? Maybe one or two. So yeah, there you go. Bro out of touch in Batcave? No. That's the point that I'm making, is that the reason why I'm comparing height is because height is something that people readily see, and I'm providing a frame of reference for how common it is versus height, because people see that all the time, but they don't see the money all the time. That's my point. That's the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
With this.
So what he's trying to say is that if you think of the income thing, because that's per person, not per family, because he said he thought it was like per family. But like when I was reading it said 1% of individual income earners. So that's already crazy. So that means it will be double or even quadruple for families that you need to make this much. So it's definitely already over $1 million for family. And then he was just, with the height thing, he was trying to compare it so that you could gain a visual to be like, okay, if you're under 6 foot, then you are the whatever percentage. And if you're over 6 foot or more, then you are the 14.5 of U.S. men percentage, aka the 1%ers of that last study. Like he was just giving an example, something that you could see. I don't even know why I'm explaining that. Like that's just such common sense. Like I'm not even that smart, I don't think. And even I know. And there's people in this chat that don't understand it, and it makes me so mad.
1% height.
I don't
Top
understand.
1%. How
man.
many people do you know
What is
that
wrong
are
with
over
people?
6'4" or 6'4" higher? Like I probably know 20, 30 guys that are over 6'4" or 6'4" or higher. So really, yeah.
I think we need robots and AI to help us in our fucking classes. we need to help our education system. That's what we need.
So think about that. In order to contextualize what is 1%, think about going to the grocery store and how many people do you see there that are 6'4" or higher? Maybe 1 or 2. So yeah, there you go. Bro out of touch in Batcave? No.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Height?
skip.
How all the time?
There we go.
Let the debate
I thought it was
begin,
6'3",
and
actually.
we need your participation.
When I was in
Thank
high
you
school, that's
very
what they
much.
told me.
Okay, was that it?
I mean, again, I think Bernie Sanders is the only person talking sense with a lot of these actual working class.
He's not really talking sense. He's shining the flashlight on the problem. But he's just like pointing it out to people, but his solutions aren't solutions.
Class issues. I think he's
Like it's good that he brought it up. I give him that. It's good he brought it up and he brought it to attention and he's shining the light on the problem. But the problem, or the people that need to start talking about this problem, are the people in office. But what the people in office are worrying about are foreign problems, which is, in my opinion, not why we put them into power. We put them into power to help us with our shit and our issues going on. And I think this will affect us the next presidency. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start questioning, like when they do the Republican versus Democrat debate thing that they always host, if there won't be a question that has to deal with AI and robots.
the only person that's looking at this from the perspective of a legitimate American worker rather than a fucking like mind broken identity politics, mentally ill Twitter warrior. He's one of the only guys that's talking about this. And even if you disagree with Bernie Sanders on a lot of his other viewpoints on different topics,
I do.
I really think that this
But
issue
it's good,
specifically,
like I said,
I
it's
think
good
he
he
really
brought it
has
up.
a good grasp on it. And I think he's one of the only guys out there that's talking about this in a legitimate way. And I think that we need more people out there talking
He has
about
over
this.
4,000. My ADHD's kicking in, but he has over 4,814 watch later videos. Holy! I don't even have that in my like videos.
We don't
My
build
gosh.
something that is basically, if we don't build
Easy
something that's
reaction,
ready
Andy,
for
man.
this whenever this effectively singularity does happen,
Even
then
my
we are
watch
going
list
to look
isn't
at a
even nowhere
type
near
of
that.
social unrest that will make BLM look like a nice evening in 1995. It's going to be awful. Mass crime. Yeah, the whole thing. It's going to be absolute fucking chaos. Social
Yeah, I've already
collapse.
said that.
Yeah, it's going to be horrible. I'll read a few more of these comments.
Okay,
I'm very.
I don't want to. I don't want to read a dumb idiot comment. But yeah. I watch Asmongold a lot. Okay, the notification bell is turned off. See, that's the thing. If you're subscribed to people, you got to make sure that bell's turned off or turn on, because for some reason YouTube still has that problem where you don't get recommended videos. But yeah, I think it'll just get worse, and then everybody will be relying on these subscription services. I mean, you got fucking now Samsung putting ads on refrigerators. Soon it'll be they can lock your refrigerator and you can't even open it until you pay your subscription service fee. Then it'll be this other fee to get into your bathroom so you could even take a shit. Like, it'll get worse. Like, honestly, people that have the money will then, like, it'll be like the fucking movie where, like, you're using time. I think Justin Timberlake had it where, like, its income was time and you had to donate your time to people for their services, or just to, like provide for your family. So like he had to give his time to his mom, and he was working a factory job, and then they were cutting his time. He's like, hey, I invested more time working, and I'm not getting paid as much time. And then they were like, well, sorry, and I'm what you gonna do about it? And then he was running back home, and his mom was running towards him, even though she wasn't aging, but she was still older. But that's just a benefit. But she ran out of time, and then she just dropped dead right in front of him because he couldn't get to her in time. But that movie will probably become more of a reality, but with money and not with time. Your time is money in the literal sense that you need money to wake up because you have to pay a subscription service to get out of bed. Like, it's so stupid.
I'm extremely.
I hate the subscription service movement. I hated it when it was being implemented in like the early 2010 era with like Spotify and whatever. I hated it then, and I hate it even more now.
Opinionated about this. I'm very passionate about this topic. I care a lot about.
All right, I think that's it. I think he's just gonna read. I'm passionate about the AI movement because of how much AI hatred there is. Because they see an AI and they automatically hate it. And I'm like, no, that's a good tool for humans to push us forward. Yes, there's going to be malicious actors that use AI to hurt humanity. But there's also going to be people that make it where AI will push us forward as the human race. And it just determines, at the moment, it determines how the person uses the tool, not the tool itself. At the moment. Who knows what will happen later in the future. AI could gain sentience and wipe us all out. And it's like, humans suck. Who knows? But, yeah, that's it. Great video. If you like it, please like and follow me. Please, 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 please like and follow. And make sure you got notification bells on. And, yeah, I will see you then. Peace out.